Okay, so I'm getting wicked loose off the corner. See what that does.
Clear the pitch. Hammered in. Come on, go.
I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I am way feathering the throttle coming out of that corner. The setup is a little loose. Started to slide the rear end. It looks like I need to make a right rear spring change.
Clear outside.
You should probably fire your spotter to not know I didn't have that run.
Need you to stay on the bottom right here. Still there. Clear all around.
Anything I do now is irrelevant because I'm sure I have front damage.
Clear the pitch. Hammered in. Come on, go. Careful now. Still there. All right, now you're clear.
Looks like I could use a little more track bar. And that's how you save it. Throttle up, downshift. The minute it starts to correct, just let off the gas. Perfect entry. Alright.
You're clear your road. Inside your driver. Over mile. Cleared all around.
Car feels better. Back on the gas hard, didn't upset the car.
Stay on the bottom here, boss. Inside your driver. Over mile. Hold a good wheel here. Don't move. Stay high. Careful. Still there. Clear all around. Excellent. Good job. Keep it up. That was your best lap ever.
Okay, what I've noticed is I can go in that lobby and run 1/10 of a second faster. I need to try to upset the car and see what kind of loose it is. Any car that rotates is good. I can. Just keep going. Let's see what that temperature gets up to. Alright, now I got a setup that someone else gave me. Alright, that's my race setup. We're gonna run what I was given. On this setup, and then we'll go where the tournament is. Yeah, it's always good when you're doing setups to, and use both slots. Use them to your advantage. It's one thing to go out here and turn laps with AI, and it's a whole another thing when you're out there in the esports. Because I think they changed the traction control. I think when you're on a controller in the game, I think they have it nerfed. At 704 Games, I think they nerfed it. And what I mean by that is I can be nice and snug here, and I can go into a race and just at esports and just be spinning out. I think they nerfed the setups, and it makes sense because otherwise the game would be too hard to drive for most people, and it would injure the success of the game. I mean, it makes sense for them to do that. It really does. Man, look at $100 bill says I end up. I ended up having to way tighten this car up. Almost bet this setup I was given was way too loose. Probably great for a wheel, not so much for a controller. No, that was pretty snug. Car doesn't turn as good as my setup. We got a smoker. Get out of the racing line, you fucking twat. Alright, so we have both these setups. Alright, we got our qualify and our race. Pretty big differences, but they'll both run 23.1s right here in testing. So let's go see if we can get further up the A rank. Ah, really? Fat Fingers wins again. And of course I'm drinking out of my 2006 Denny Hamlin coffee cup. I remember in 2005 he split the last 10 races of the season in the number 11 FedEx car with JJ Yaley. And he was impressive for those 5 races. Almost had the pole. Actually, I think he did get a pole. Finished in or started in the top 10 almost every race. I mean, this is 2005. I remember telling my uncle, man, this kid's going to be good. But I've been a Denny Hamlin fan ever since. He won both Pocono races in 2006, driving through the grass with his left tires. Like, he's good. And in fact, there was a time where everybody in NASCAR said that Denny Hamlin had the absolute best eye-hand coordination. And everybody would agree he's probably the best short track racer in NASCAR. It's not an audio. Alright, so we're fixing to beat that 404.9. It was before the last couple tweaks. I was getting really loose, and I was only running 23 threes. I should be able to run 23 ones, 23 flats now. And this setup's not for everybody. If this setup is too loose for you, the first thing you need to try is going down 20 to 30 on the right rear spring. Make that the only adjustment you make and see if that helps your driving style a little better. It won't sacrifice entry. It'll just tighten it up a little bit, throttle off where the chassis is in a real tight bind to that transition to neutral where it normally gets loose coming out of a corner. I need to get a PlayStation camera so y'all can see me use my little hand gestures when I'm explaining that. And in other news, we're looking for sponsors for the Dodge because we want to set the truck record for Cannonball. Oh, we're getting the truck ready. It's going to have a first-gen Hemi. It's 2007 single cab Ram, but we're going to run a first-gen Hemi. I'm trying to set the truck record for the Cannonball. It'll probably be next year's. Trying to find sponsors.
Slow down here. Have a good day. Be ready here. Clear high. Clear high.
Well, that's not going to do it. Having to lift out of the corner. You know, when I look in my mirror and all I see are itty bitty dots, I can't help but sing that song, sail away, sail away, sail away. That's a little soft through 3 and 4 there.
You got this.
Well, a little throttle burp right there really helped rotate. And screwed up. That's what happens. You gotta try new stuff. Why is my car not planted anymore? Overdriving the corner. Not hitting my lines. I don't think that, yeah, nope, that's the same as my last one. Damn it. Damn it to hell, Jim. I know it says first on the screen, buddy, but that's not first for me. Yeah, well, I run that 401 or 402 like I should with this setup. So on the next one, I'm going to switch over to the second setup and see how it works. So like I said, I like having two setups. On a lot of tracks, I'll keep them the same, and then I'll make one change one way and one setup. I'll make that change the other way. Then I'll go back to Esports, run both setups, compare, and then whichever one was better, I'll set both setups at that. Go make a change one way on one way on the other. Go back to Esports, make a couple runs. Whichever one of those is better, I'll put on both of them, and then so on and so on. Ran a 23-1 on the last lap. That's not bad. But I've been kind of rushing these Esports and not spending enough time. I don't know. It's weird to feel kind of pressured because I'm, you know, they're doing the Pro League and stuff, which I'm good enough to get in, but I was boycotting NASCAR Heat 3 after they nerfed the game, and by the time I realized what was happening, my setup is junk. I just got a message from Kiefer, and he's a good racer, so and I give my setups to everybody. And the reason for that is because when it just comes to normal esports racing, I want everybody to be fast. If we all are fast and I beat you, you ain't got nothing to say. You have no excuses. Well, under the same concept, if I lose to the better driver, I ain't got nothing to say.
You ready?
I forgot to switch it over to the other setup because I was messaging that guy. Nice. That's the wall. Yeah, and when you're on the esports tournament, guys, get out of the way. Don't run somebody else's best time. Just because you're out front doesn't mean they're doing bad by their standards. A lot of guys just are stubborn and want to do their own setups, and I'm not going to say stubborn. There is a sense of pride in doing it on your own. NTASDFW tag, yes. Yeah, on the esports tournaments, if you wreck, if you spin out to the inside, you need to turn left and gas it. You need to intentionally spin all the way out. Try to get off the track as fast as possible. If you go into the wall on the right side, you need to hold right stick to hold your car against the wall. Okay, we're going to try our customized qualifying setup now. Brian Parker on YouTube. Why does that name sound familiar? What time is it, y'all?
I have no.
It is 7 o'clock. 30 minutes before y'all got to get to the bus.
Wow. So we finished just in time.
Yep. Hey, Cindy, you want to go make Daddy a cup of coffee?
Oh, sure. Anything for my dad.
In my Danny Hamlin cup?
Sure. I'll do this one.
You gonna take that to the sink?
Yeah.
Take it to the sink, buddy. Thank you. Alright, so we're trying our next setup. This one's a lot looser. This is also not my setup. But when it was given to me, they did not specifically say not to share it. So, as everybody knows, unless you tell me not to share, I'm gonna share. Everybody needs to be fast. That way there's no excuses when you lose. That's the philosophy that I take. I'd rather race the best at their best and get better. If you're just out there every day running out front, week in, week out, what are you learning? When that next really good guy comes along that's got better technology or better equipment than you do, you're sunk because you haven't been trying to get better than what you already are. So when the guy that's better than you comes along, there's nothing you can do. This setup's real loose. You're going to hear me on and off the throttle a lot. Even though I use the controller, I'm actually pretty good at throttle control. I'm not necessarily going to come all the way off the throttle. Always keep 2 setups when you're doing online play. See right there, I pulled about 20% of the throttle out. Slowly roll back on the throttle. I was full throttle all the way through that corner. (23.1). That's a good save. Didn't scrub much speed, probably a couple tenths. Don't overcorrect. And both of my setups are at the beginning of the video. Ooh, too high, too high. Almost hit that transition. Right there when you get into turn 1, there's a transition to turn 2 where it like drops off because it's progressive banking. I think this is the track that Rusty Wallace designed. But it's progressively banked. I think I was a little soft in the center of the corner there. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, always move your line around when you get a new setup. You never know. It could be faster, you just don't realize it. Wall. Nothing I could do. I knew with this setup, if that happened, it was game over. Damn. had to feather 10-20% of the throttle that lap. I don't even want to see what this one was. It was horrible. Well, there you go, both setups. One's a little more stable than the other. Ooh, my coffee. You're the bestest daughter I got. You're my favorite daughter. You know that? Oh, you're my only daughter. Let's hope. That'd be really awkward if she wasn't my only daughter.
Can you stop doing that?
Okay, well, I'm top half of A rank. That should have held up for a while. With my lap times, I can run a 4:02 if I just put in a consistent race. I'm not going to stress on it right now. Well, but I'm going to end the video. I'm going to go back to my setups. I honestly think the unstable one is probably the best one, the one I was given. But if you can't drive a loose race car, then you need to go to the one that's under my custom race.
That's your name, Daddy?
No, that's just the car I'm using. Alright, y'all. Walk to school.
What's that?
Bye. I'm just kidding. God, you're not...
Let's go and go get my backpack.
I was fixing to say, you're not walking to school.
Look, Daddy.
Freaking 5 miles of walking in the country on roads that people do 79 mile an hour on.
Look at the biggies.
Okay. Give you a couple minutes with that. Write it down. Text your mama. I don't care.
I'm gonna have a lunchbox today. I just think about so I have some fruit, a bag of chips. Fruit is healthy for pickles.
Alright, pause the video if you need to keep working on this setup. I'm fixing to back out and go to my custom qualifying setup. So pause the video or ride with me here. There was one thing I wanted to change with this one. And make it a little looser. I know it was already radical and loose. If you got throttle control, I needed to rotate the center of the corner just a little bit better into entries. So off throttle, extending that right track bar loosens you up. Sometimes you can do the same on exit, but mostly when you come off if you're turning right or left, before you come off the throttle, if you hear the tires starting to slide and you're getting loose, that's your right track bar. I'm not quite sure exactly which setup completely eliminates that going into the corner, but I know when you have extended track bars, if you're getting loose on throttle coming off the corner, shit, my thumb hit it. I don't remember what it was. I'll have to go back to it in just a second. But
I believe that was the
so it was. Alright, then we'll do 25. So if you are loose off the corner under throttle with any of these setups, this is the one thing you change right here. Not the left, just the right rear spring. Lowering this spring will give you grip off the corner. Lowering this will give you grip in a little bit, but or lowering this too much can counteract what you did with the right rear spring and make you loose again. So when you're going into the corner, you can lower that a little bit. It'll sure you up some. But coming off the corner, if you're loose on throttle, lower your right rear spring. And only go 10 or 20 at a time, because you'll be surprised how big of a difference that adjustment makes. But that's it. Like I said, both the setups are at the beginning of the video and here at the end, and leave them up on the screen long enough for you to write them down or do them. Or I'm fixing to do a video on base settings, what settings I put in a car before I ever start testing. Right off the bat, I'll take a stock setup from the NASCAR game and show you what changes I make before I ever go turn a lap, just so I can get a feel of where that's at, and I know where to adjust from there. And eventually, if you see enough setups on here, y'all will kind of get the idea of how to do that too, and then make you a lot better at going and doing your own setups. Like I said, my qualifying setup here is from someone else. The race setup is one that I did. Y'all have a good one.
Dad, you make videos?
Where have you been?